So as I was telling about Excel, that using Excel you can perform various operations, like you can get and transform data, you can visualize the data, okay, or you can use various functions or various aggregate functions, various date time functions to manipulate the data. Also you can get and transform the data. Get and transform the data means what? That is, may your data be in any format, may it be in Word format, may it be in PDF format, may it be in SQL format, or may your data be stored in any external source. External source means may your data be on any online platform or on any website. That data too you can get and import in Excel, and after that perform various operations on that. Like what you can do, that is clean the data. After that, what you can do, that on the basis of existing features you can create a new feature also. Create a new feature means what? That, for example, consider if you have a data set which contains two columns, length and breadth. In length, length of various lengths of rectangle, or in length column, length of 10 rectangles is stored, and in breadth column, breadth of 10 rectangles is stored. And now what you need to do, or what you are going to do, is on the basis of both those columns you are going to create a new third column, which is area of rectangle. And how you are going to calculate area of rectangle? That is using the formula length into breadth, right? Now you may ask, what is feature? Feature means what? That now many of you may not be knowing about data science using Python, but people who are familiar with data science using Python, many of you may be having a basic idea that in data science using Python, when to perform data cleaning operations or to perform data pre-processing, okay, to perform data cleaning operations or to perform data pre-processing, you need a data set, okay. Now what is a data set? A data set is a data set is a data a data set is a data where a data set is a Excel file, or no, a data set is a CSV file. A data set is a CSV file in which data is stored in form of rows and columns. Now what is the meaning of CSV? Comma separated values, okay. And using that data set, what you can do, that you can perform various data pre-processing operations on that data set, you can visualize data from that data set, etc. Now in data science using Python, there are multiple algorithms also, like linear regression, logistic regression, support vector machine, q-learning, naive-bayes classifier, etc. Okay, so as you all know, that in data science using Python, to perform any machine learning algorithm or to apply any machine learning algorithm, you need data. And that data, and majorly data sets are .csv files. .csv files means comma separated value files, okay. After that, using Excel you can also do those things. Now you can using Excel also you can using Excel you can also visualize the data. In data science using Python, what all you can do? You can do data pre-processing, visualize the data, you can forecast the data, make predictions, right. So in data science using Python, to execute various machine learning algorithms, may it be supervised learning algorithm or unsupervised or reinforcement or semi-supervised, you need data sets, okay. And data sets are what? That in data set, data is stored in form of rows and columns. Like how similarly in SQL, what we do, we create a database, okay. In a database, data is stored. In database, how data is stored? In form of tables. And in table, how data is stored? In form of rows and columns, right? Okay. After that, in Excel you can also use various aggregate functions like sum, total, average, etc. In Excel you can also use date functions, okay. Some of the date functions or common date functions, like today date function, month function, year function, time function, or hour function, etc. Okay, using Excel you can also visualize the data. Using Excel you can get and transform the data also. Okay, using Excel you can also manipulate the data. Now let me tell you that Excel is the base of data analysis. Excel is the base of data analysis means what? Like if anyone wants to pursue a career in software development, right, or in or anyone wants to pursue a career as a software engineer. So what we need to do, we need to learn programming languages. And before learning any major programming language or any advanced programming language, your base of C and C programming must be clear. And on basis of that, you can learn any advanced programming language, may it be Python, may it be Java, may it be C Sharp.net, or may it be any other programming language, right? Right? In the same way, before learning any advanced data analytic tool, may it be data science using Python. Now, many of you may not be knowing that data science using Python is also used for data analysis. Okay, so before learning any advanced data analytic tool, may it be data science using Python, may it be Power BI, may it be Python, or may it be Google Looker, or may it be SQL. Okay, before that, your base of Excel must be clear, since Excel is a basic software. Okay, Excel is a basic software, or Excel is a basic application used across all the sectors, may it be IT sector, may it be mechanical sector, may it be civil sector, may it be electrical sector, etc. Now let me give you a simple example. In civil sector or in civil field, many of you may have heard about the course MSP, right? In MSP also, what they do, they use Excel, right? Okay, so after learning Excel, you can land job roles like entry level analyst, reporting specialist, business support analyst, etc. And let me tell you, like cloud computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analytics. Data analytics is also a latest emerging trend is also a latest emerging trend in today's world. Okay. Now, next is SQL. Now, what is SQL? SQL stands for Structured Query Language. In SQL, what we do, that is we store data in a database. In database, we store data in form of tables, and in table, we store data in form of rows and columns. Okay. Now, there are many variations of SQL like MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, MongoDB, etc. Okay. Now, you may ask, then what is the difference between all these variations? The difference in all these variations is the syntax. The difference in all these variations is syntax. Syntax means what? That for example, if you are using insert query, okay, we use insert query. Okay, we use insert query in SQL to insert data in a table. Okay, now in SQL we can insert data in a table in two ways. We can insert single row at a time, as well as we can insert multiple rows at a time also. Okay, now in SQL the syntax of using insert statement may be different, and in PostgreSQL the syntax of using insert statement may be different. But at last, on both the places, insert query or insert statement is going to do the same thing. Means it is going to be used for inserting data into SQL, right? Next, SQL is vital for data extraction, cleaning, transformation, and building data pipelines. Now, in SQL, what all concepts are there? First of all, you need to know all the basic queries used in SQL. That is which all input and output operations we perform on a table in SQL, right? Okay, we need to know the queries like create, insert, update, delete, alter, select, etc. Okay, now you also need to know all the variations of alter. After that, you also need to know all the variations of select. After that, you also need to know all the variations of insert. Okay, right? And after that, you also need to know all the variations of update. And once all the basic queries are clear, after that what you can do, that is, you can easily adapt the advanced concepts. Advanced concepts means what? Constraints, aggregate functions, clauses, triggers, etc. Now, you may ask, what are constraints? So, constraints are used to enforce data integrity. Now, for example, in constraints, there are different types. First is primary key, second is foreign key, third is not null, fourth is default, fifth is unique. Okay. Now, let me give you a simple example or let me clarify the point, constraints are used for data integrity. Let me clarify that point. So what we need to know, what we need to do, that is, for example, consider you have created a student info table, and in that table you have 3 columns: SID, SNAME and SMarks. Okay. Now if I don't assign primary, if while creating student info table, if I don't assign primary key to SID column, then what is the meaning of that? That while inserting data into student table or while inserting data into student info table, I can insert duplicate values in SID column. Okay, I can insert duplicate values in SID column. But as we all know that each student must be assigned a unique SID. Okay, each student must be assigned a unique ID value. Okay, or in schools or colleges, every student is assigned a separate roll number, a separate or unique roll number, right? Every student in schools or colleges, every student is assigned a separate or unique roll number, right? In the same way, so while creating student table or while creating student info table, if I assigned primary key constraint to SID column, then what is the meaning of that? That while inserting data into student or student info table, you need to insert only unique values in SID column. Okay, only unique values in SID column. While creating student table, if you assign primary key for SID column, and after that while inserting data into student info table, if you try to insert duplicate values in SID column, then it may generate an error that primary key is violated or primary key constraint is violated, right? Okay. And now what is the use of primary key? That is, for example, consider if while creating student table, I did not assign primary key constraint to SID column, and for example, consider that for 2 students I have assigned the same roll number or same ID. In that case, while addressing a specific student out of those 2 students, I am going to face a conflict. While addressing one of the student from both those students, I am going from out of both those students, I am going to face a conflict. Means what? That since both the students are assigned same SID value, in that case, which particular student out of those 2 students I am addressing, it's not going to be clear. Okay, and since in that case data integrity is not maintained, so in SQL we use constraints to maintain data integrity or to enforce data integrity. That is, for example, while creating student info table, if you have assigned primary key for SID column, then what is the meaning of that? That while inserting data into student or student info table, you need to insert unique values in SID column. And after inserting unique values in SID column, what will happen? That each student from that table is going to be uniquely identified. In the same, we have aggregate functions like count, sum, average, first aggregate function, last aggregate function. Now, first aggregate function and last aggregate function, we cannot implement these 2 aggregate functions directly. We need to implement these 2 aggregate functions indirectly using order by clause. Okay. Now, you may ask, what is order by clause? So, order by clause is used in SQL to sort data either in ascending order or descending order based on one column. Okay. Now, order by clause is used in SQL to sort data either in ascending order or in descending order based on any one of the column from the table. Okay. And as in every session I have told that not only knowing the main concepts regarding to any programming language or regarding to any database or regarding to any scripting language is enough, but also with that, but along with that, you also need to know the minute details like for example, since now we are talking about order by clause. So I know many of you may not be knowing this, that by default order by clause sorts the data from a table in ascending order based on a column. Okay, that is automatically means when you don't assign any specific order to the order by clause. In that case, order by clause is going to by default sort the data from that table in ascending order based on which column you are sorting data from that table. Okay, in the same way, in the same way. Now, as you all know that in SQL we store data in form of rows and columns. We store data in form of rows and columns. But in terms of SQL, a row is also known as a record, while a column is also known as a field. These minute details also you should know. Okay, and I can verify this point. How I can verify this point is that I know many of you may be not knowing the describe query. Okay, describe table name query. Why we use describe table name query? To display structure of any table in SQL. Okay, and using this query, when you display structure of a particular table in SQL, where the list where column names get displayed, above that the column name is field. The column name is field, and hence in SQL a column is also known as a field. Point gets proved, right? So while learning any database language or learning any programming language or while learning any scripting language, you should be familiar with the major programming concepts or major concepts of that programming language, no doubt. But along with that you should be also familiar with the minute details of that programming language or database or scripting language, since minute details help you uh, manipulate the program according to your requirement, right? After that, in SQL we also have clauses to combine data from two or more tables. Okay. After that, in uh, sorry, uh, we have joins, not clauses. In SQL we have joins to combine data from two or more tables. In SQL we also have triggers like before insert, before update, after update, before delete, after delete, etc. Now, what are triggers? The word itself describe what it may do. Trigger means what? That it is going to trigger a event. Okay, trigger means what? That it is going to trigger a event. That is in SQL what we do. That is we create a trigger. We create a trigger. For example, consider I have created a before insert trigger. Okay. For example, consider I have created a before insert trigger on a specific table. Okay. Now when on that specific table on which I have created before insert trigger, when I am going to perform insert query, or when I'm going to insert data in that table, or when I'm going to insert data in that table, before inserting data into that table or before data getting inserted into that table, before insert query is going to get before insert query is going to get or sorry before insert trigger is going to get executed. Okay, before the insert trigger is going to get executed. In the same way I know many of you may not be knowing this point, that there are different points. Sorry, there is also copy query. What we do using copy query, that you can do three things. Okay, let me tell you, you can do three things. First is you can copy a database as it is into a new database. Second, you can copy specific tables from a database into a new database. And finally, you can also manually copy structure and table. Manually copy structure and table means using insert query. And the first 2 points, which is copying a database as it is, and the second point, copying specific tables from a database, both these points are executed using MySQL dump. Okay, both these points are executed using MySQL dump. Means what? That when you install MySQL, okay, when you install MySQL, then along with that, as you all know, that three products get installed. One is MySQL shell, second is MySQL server, and third is MySQL workbench, right? Okay, or when you install MySQL installer, in that case MySQL workbench, MySQL command line client, and MySQL shell, these three products also get installed. Okay, now you can choose products according to your requirement, but most preferred way is we choose these three products. Okay, now before executing copy a database and copying specific tables from a database operations, firstly you need to install MySQL dump on your system. And how you can install MySQL dump on your system? That is, you just need to open the MySQL folder and then open MySQL server folder, and after that open bin folder and check whether MySQL dump exists in that folder or not. And after that, copy the path of that folder and open edit the system environment variables. And in that Under system variables, there is a variable named path. Okay, select that. After that, click on edit button. Then a new window gets opened. After that, click on new button. After clicking on new button, a new path, a new window or a new place, okay, or a new container gets opened. In that, paste the path, and after that, click OK, and get out of that, edit the system environment variables window, and after that, open command prompt and run the instruction mysql dump space hyphen hyphen version. Okay, and if mysql dump version gets displayed, then it means that mysql dump has been successfully installed on your system. But still, if it shows error that mysql dump is not recognized as an internal or external command, it means still mysql dump has not been successfully installed, or still mysql dump has not been installed on your system, right? After that, copying a specific copying a database as it is. Now, for example, consider you have a database named experiment in mysql command line in a mysql. Okay, now what you want to do, that you want to copy the structure and entire data stored in all the tables from that database into a new database, okay, using mysql dump. Now let me tell you how to do this. First of all, using mysql command line client, create a new database. After that, open command prompt and execute the instruction mysql dump -u root -p source database name greater than symbol and new .sql file. Now, -u denotes username, -p denotes password, right? -u denotes username, -p denotes password. Root is the by default username assigned to every user who uses mysql command line client. Okay, and new .sql file means what? That data from that database is going to get transferred in that new .sql file. If that new .sql file exists on the path mentioned in that command prompt, then that file is going to get overwritten. But if that new .sql file does not exist, then what is going to happen? That a new file with that name is going to get created. Okay, and after that, what you need to do, that is execute the next instruction, which is mysql -u root -p destination database name less than symbol and the .sql file name in which you have stored data from the source database. Okay, and after executing this instruction, or after executing both the instructions, it asks a password for authorization. So you need to enter the password which you have manually set while installing MySQL products. Okay, understood? So that's all for today. Thank you for listening to me patiently. Let's meet in the next session.